These 10 boring businesses can generate repeat revenue while you sleep. The secret isn't excitement. It's recurring customers, efficient routes, and services people need again and again. Number 10 is parking lot striping. This is probably the simplest service on the list to understand. A property manager has faded lines, fire lanes, accessible spaces, arrows, curbs, or loading zones. You prepare the surface, lay out the pattern, apply the right coating, and let it cure. By the way, I'm Mike, a husband and father of 2, just trying to make smarter money decisions and help you do the same. The appeal is obvious, the finished work is visible. Jobs can be scheduled at night when lots are empty. A small crew can produce a dramatic before and after result. And once a property manager trusts you, one job can lead to several locations. But striping ranks 10th because the repeat cycle is uneven. Weather, traffic, resurfacing, local standards, and the customer's appearance expectations all affect timing. A freshly paved lot may need immediate work, while another site may postpone repainting. Rain can erase the schedule before it erases the paint. The best version is not a person chasing one-off residential jobs. It is a commercial route built through paving companies, property managers, shopping centers, warehouses, schools, and maintenance contracts. Add crack sealing, signs, wheel stops, or recurring inspections, and the relationship becomes stickier. Still, this is more project revenue than subscription revenue. Good business, limited sleep factor. Number 9 is septic tank pumping. Few services are more necessary. When a tank is full or a system backs up, the customer does not comparison shop for 3 months. They want help now. The Environmental Protection Agency says household septic systems should generally be inspected every 1 to 3 years and pumped every 3 to 5 years, depending on tank size, household size, water use, and solids. That is dependable long-term demand, but it is not frequent demand. If your average customer needs service once every 4 years, a database of 3,000 customers creates roughly 750 potential annual jobs before churn, moves, competition, and seasonality. And this is not a light equipment business. You need the right truck, trained operators, disposal access, maintenance reserves, insurance, and local permits. Emergencies can pay well, but they also destroy peaceful schedules. The sleep factor improves when the business captures inspection records, schedules the next service before leaving, groups, neighborhoods, and builds referral relationships with plumbers, real estate agents, and property managers. The database is the recurring asset. The truck is only the tool that fulfills it. Number 8 is pool cleaning routes. Pool service is the classic route business because water chemistry never takes a vacation. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says public pool operators should test disinfectant and pH at least twice a day, maintain records, care for filtration systems, and use preventative maintenance. Residential rules differ, but the basic reality is the same. Water changes, debris arrives, filters load up, and equipment wears out. That creates weekly or otherwise frequent visits in warm markets. Customers can be geographically clustered. Tasks can be turned into checklists. Repairs and equipment replacement can add higher value work. So why only number 8? Seasonality and labor quality. A dense route in Arizona or Florida is a different business from a scattered seasonal route in a colder state. Chemical prices move. A careless technician can create algae, equipment damage, or an angry customer faster than an office can fix the relationship. And when the owner is the only person who understands difficult water problems, the route owns the owner. The winning pool business measures minutes per stop, chemical cost per account, callback rate, and driving time. It does not celebrate customer count without looking at the map. A 100 pool route in 3 neighboring subdivisions may be better than 140 pools spread across a county. That example points to the 4 things creating the sleep factor across this entire list. The customer needs the service again. Customers sit close enough together to form an efficient route. A trained technician can follow a repeatable process. And enough money remains after labor, fuel, materials, disposal, repairs, and callbacks to support the office and replace equipment. Miss any one of those, and recurring revenue can become recurring stress. Here is a simple example. Imagine 100 customers paying an average of $150 a month. That is $15,000 in monthly revenue. If 45% remains after direct service costs, that is $6,750 before office overhead, debt, taxes, and the owner's pay. Now suppose those accounts require 200 route hours because they are scattered. That contribution is about $34 per route hour. Pack the same customers into 120 hours, and it rises to more than $56 per route hour. Same customers, Same prices, better geography. That is the big payoff. In a route business, the map can matter more than the marketing. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical videos about personal and family finance, and send this one to someone who might find it useful too. Number 7 is pest control. Pests come back. That sentence is the revenue model. Homes, restaurants, apartments, warehouses, and offices often need recurring prevention, monitoring, and treatment. Routes can be dense. Customers value reliability because the alternative is uncomfortable, embarrassing, or unsafe. Commercial contracts can become especially sticky when documentation matters. But pest control carries a real technical and regulatory burden. The Environmental Protection Agency says people who apply or supervise restricted-use pesticides must be certified. Commercial applicators must understand labels, safety, protective equipment, environmental effects, pest identification, formulations, and application techniques. States can add requirements. That burden is not just a cost. It is also part of the moat. A reliable service company with good records, clear communication, and low callback rates is harder to replace than someone with a spray bottle and a logo. The danger is selling cheap recurring plans that underestimate difficult infestations, travel time, or free retreatments. A contract is only valuable if the promised service can be delivered profitably. Pest control scores well on recurrence and delegability, but the owner has to build training and quality control before stepping back. Number 6 is portable restroom rental. This is where the list shifts from selling a visit to placing an asset. A portable restroom can earn rental revenue while it sits at a construction site or event. That sounds very close to money while you sleep. There is also compliance-backed demand. Occupational Safety and Health Administration rules require construction sites without sanitary sewers to provide toilet facilities. For 20 or fewer workers, the table generally calls for at least one facility, with more capacity as crews grow. But here is the catch. The unit earns while stationary and costs money whenever it moves or gets serviced. Delivery, pickup, pumping, cleaning, deodorizer, damage, route labor, disposal, and storage all matter. Events can create spikes, but construction accounts usually create the steadier base. The business becomes more owner-independent when units are standardized, service intervals are scheduled, drivers photograph each completed stop, and routes are dense. It becomes less attractive when units sit idle in the yard, customers are far apart, or the company buys inventory before securing demand. Number 5 is dumpster rental. The basic economics resemble portable restrooms, but the equipment and consequences are heavier. A container can generate rental income at a renovation, roofing job, commercial property, or cleanup site. Customers may pay for delivery, a rental period, removal, disposal, extra weight, or extra days. Again, the asset looks passive while sitting still. The expensive moment is movement. A truck, driver, fuel, tires, repairs, insurance, disposal fees, and wait time all show up when a box is delivered or swapped. Contaminated loads and overweight material can turn a good-looking invoice into a bad job. Labor is not a footnote. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that refuse and recyclable material collectors in the waste management industry average roughly $54,300 in annual pay in 2025. That is employee compensation, not the full employer cost and not an owner's profit. It is simply a reminder that the person and equipment moving the waste are central to the economics. The strongest dumpster company knows 3 numbers every morning: how many containers are earning, how many are idle, and how much contribution each truck hour creates. A yard full of steel is not success. Containers placed with paying customers, supported by reliable transport and disposal, are success. Number 4 is grease trap cleaning. This might be the purest boring route on the list. Restaurants create fats, oils, grease, and food solids every day. The Environmental Protection Agency says those materials can clog public sewer pipes, pumps, and treatment facilities. Local pretreatment programs may set cleaning, record-keeping, and disposal requirements for food service businesses. That creates scheduled work with a consequence for ignoring it. A restaurant does not want a backup, odor problem, failed inspection, or expensive emergency. A provider that arrives on time, documents the service, and disposes of material correctly can become difficult to replace. But unpleasant work is not automatically profitable work. Trucks and pumping equipment are expensive. Disposal capacity matters. After-hours service may be necessary. Spills, hoses, traffic, and confined work areas introduce risk. One dense restaurant district can be attractive. 3 distant restaurants can consume a night. This business scores high because the customer produces the problem continuously. The route converts that continuous problem into scheduled billing. Yet the sleep factor only appears after dispatch, maintenance, documentation, and emergency response no longer depend on one owner's phone. Number 3 is medical waste pickup. Doctors, offices, dental practices, veterinary clinics, laboratories, and other healthcare facilities generate waste that may include blood, body fluids, sharps, or other potentially infectious material. The Environmental Protection Agency says medical waste is primarily regulated by state environmental and health departments, and state programs vary. That last point is critical. The recurring demand can be excellent. A small clinic may need regular containers, pickup, manifests, and reliable handoff. Routes can be scheduled. Customers care about documentation and trust. But this is not a casual waste hauling idea. Packaging, labeling, transport, treatment, employee exposure, insurance, and state rules all have to be understood before a single sales call becomes a pickup. The moat is compliance plus reliability. The risk is also compliance plus reliability. This can become a strong route business when a company focuses on a clear generator type, standardizes containers and paperwork, and builds dense service days. It can become a disaster when somebody treats regulated material like ordinary trash. Number 3 has a high sleep factor only for an operator willing to build the boring controls first. Number 2 is fire extinguisher inspection and service. This business turns a calendar into a customer list. OSHA requires workplace portable extinguishers to be visually inspected monthly and subjected to an annual maintenance check. Certain extinguishers also have longer maintenance and hydrostatic testing cycles. That does not mean every monthly check is outsourced, and local fire codes or licensing rules may differ. But it does mean extinguishers live on a schedule. Commercial buildings also need records. Property managers often oversee multiple locations. A technician can move through a building, inspect units, document results, identify service needs, and schedule the next cycle. The equipment is smaller than a dumpster truck. The route can be dense. The work can be trained and audited. And each account may create related revenue from recharging, replacement, cabinets, signs, or other approved services. The weakness is that technical competence and licensing matter. Errors concern life safety. Cheap shortcuts are unacceptable. The strongest company uses software to track every unit by location, type, service date, and next requirement. The real product is not the tag. It is confidence that nothing on the property's safety calendar was missed. That brings us to number 1, commercial laundry and linen routes. Think restaurants, salons, spas, gyms, medical offices, hospitality, uniforms, towels, mats, napkins, and other repeat-use textiles. The customer does not simply need an item once. They use it, soil it, and need a clean replacement again. That cycle can happen every week. The CDC describes several healthcare laundry models, including off-site commercial laundries. In one model, the processor owns the textiles and charges a rental fee for each piece laundered. That is powerful because the company can provide the asset, processing, and recurring delivery in one relationship. This category ranks first for frequency, contract potential, route density, and delegability. A well-designed route leaves clean inventory, collects soiled inventory, and returns on a schedule. Processing can be centralized. Drivers and plant staff can follow measured procedures. Billing can be based on contracted quantities or usage. But first does not mean easy. Water, energy, equipment, textile loss, stains, rewashes, sorting, contamination controls, delivery accuracy, and plant capacity decide the margin. CDC guidance emphasizes separating clean and dirty areas, protecting workers, drying linens completely, maintaining equipment, and preventing recontamination during transport. And concentration risk can be brutal. One large hotel or hospital may look efficient until that customer leaves. A diversified route of restaurants, spas, clinics, or industrial accounts may be safer, even if each stop is smaller. So linen wins this ranking only under the right conditions: dense contracts, controlled processing, accurate inventory, low replacement loss, dependable drivers, and enough capacity to handle peaks without destroying quality. Now we can answer the question we started with. Which boring business makes money while you sleep? Potentially all 10. Literally none of them. The best opportunity is the one where a repeated customer need can be fulfilled reliably along a compact route, with enough contribution left to pay for supervision, equipment replacement, and mistakes. That is why linen and fire service rank high. Their calendars are clear. It is why grease, medical waste, portable restrooms, and dumpsters can be powerful, but capital and compliance heavy. And it is why a simple service with terrible geography can underperform a complicated service on one dense block. If you are considering one of these, do not start by shopping for a truck. First, map the likely customers. Call the local regulator, insurer, disposal facility, and equipment service company. Learn which license is required and what happens when the truck breaks. Ask customers what they use now, how often they buy, why they switch, and what failure costs them. Then try to sell a small, dense route before building a large operation. Price labor, travel, materials, disposal, maintenance, callbacks, card fees, office work, and replacement reserves. Write the service process so another careful person can follow it. Measure route hours, not just revenue. Measure retention, not just new sales. Measure the owner's emergency calls, because every call is evidence that the system is unfinished. The goal is not to remove work from the business. The goal is to remove the owner as the only person who can make the work happen. That is when recurring revenue starts to feel different. Customers wake up needing the same essential service. The schedule already knows where the crew goes. The team already knows what good work looks like. The records already know when the next visit is due. And the price already includes the real cost of keeping the promise. Passive income is not a business category. It is what a well-built operating system feels like from the owner's side. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.